Hey Mike, how you doing? I guess you got my email, right? We're having some issues with the streaming company. They're under some sort of construction. It'll be back Monday. But this is just as well. Okay, so you can hear me, see me, everything is working fine. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit first about linear. Okay? You did mention you quite didn't understand the term linear. Well, when you say something is linear, it's a straight line. And when you're talking musical, you're talking a straight line of rhythm. Example, if I played one measure of eighth notes, and only on one surface or on one voice, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that was one measure. That was a linear measure. Okay? Actually, all of stick control book 1 through 72 is a linear line. You're playing combinations of different stickings, but you're playing one voice at a time, or one stroke at a time. I could take, for example, the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I could distribute it as long as I don't break that line between voices. I can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I kept a straight line of eighth notes. I did not break the momentum of the eighth note line. Now, what is not a linear line is if I play a broken line of rhythm. For example, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That was a broken line of rhythm. It wasn't straight. If I played sixteenths, 1 E, 2 E, that's one line, or one measure rather, of straight sixteenths. So it's a straight line. It's a linear line of sixteenth notes. But I could break 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and I just played sixteenth notes as well. But I did not contain myself to one voice. I dispersed the voices. Do you understand that, Mike? Is that a little clearer for you? How you doing, Mike? Michael? Mike and Michael, the law firm. Okay, so we're going to take two different patterns tonight. Linear patterns. We're going to work with 16th notes and a few different voices. Okay, sorry about your computer the other night. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to reference from the stick control book. That's the first thing. And when you reference from the stick control book, it's usually an eighth note, but we're going to take it just as a right and a left and a right and a left, or whatever sticking combination is. Right, right, left, left, so on and so forth. Right, left, 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 left. And we're going to make R equal something. And we're going to make L equal something. Now, the first thing you want to do here is establish a foundation, a 16th note count. My count for 16th notes is 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E and the. How you doing, Ross? Hey, by the way, everybody, your books are on the way. Okay, so now, we're going to take the first line, right, left, and we're going to use the right hand for, when it says right, I'm going to contain some voices here. When I say R, I'm going to use my floor tom-tom. When I say left, I'm going to use my right hand, still, on the hi-hat. So now, if I take the first line, right, left, right, left sequence, I'm counting the 16th notes. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So if I say went to line 3, that would be right E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Now notice the E and is just blank so far. I still played a linear line, quarter notes. I didn't break the quarter note. Now, this is not a linear line, this is building towards the exercise. I already established the 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's a right, it's on the floor, tom-tom. If it's a left, it's the right hand, how you doing, Paul? It's the right hand on the hi-hat. So, we're maintaining a 16th note pulse. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Now, throughout this whole exercise, whatever line I'm on, whether it's 72, 23, 18, 15, or whatever, my left hand is going to remain on the snare drum, and it's going to be the same. It's going to be on the E and we're still leaving the da out. So let's do the first line as the right, the left, right, left. So I have 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Now I'm going to put the E and with the left hand on the snare drum. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. Line 3. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Do we all understand that so far? I haven't played the does. That's where it gets sort of complicated, but it starts to sound pretty cool. So we already established that the right hand is the floor tom-tom. And the right hand is going to be, even if it says left on the sticking, the left is going to equal the right hand on the hi-hat. Okay, and the E end. Okay. All right, we got it. Okay. How about you, Ross and Paul? We understand that so far? Okay. Now, what happens to the da? Okay. If I'm going to use my right hand on the floor tom-tom, every time I hit that, before I hit that, it's da, 1, E, and now, da, 2, E, and. The left E and the right E and the left E and the right E and the left E. What's that? Absolutely, Paul, stick control book. We're referencing off the sticking patterns. I established that R is going to be my right hand on the floor tom-tom. 1. That's the first line. I see a left, it's going to be my right hand on the hi-hat. So what I'm doing actually, I'm making my R equal a certain voice and L equal a certain voice with the same hand. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. That's line 1. Line 3, 2 rights, 2 lefts, that'll be 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So what I'm doing is I'm using 4 voices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 voices rather. Okay? I'm using the hi-hat with the stick, the hi-hat with the foot, the bass drum, okay? And the right hand on the floor tom-tom in his hand. Who's this? Crazy horse. Matt, it's Google. It's George. Okay, George, how you doing, George? Welcome. Is this your first time here, George? so far, do we all understand what I'm doing? Okay? The rights equal the floor tom-tom with the right hand, the L's equal the hi-hat with the right hand, the E end is consistent. It's just that what gets confusing is the bass drum with the foot and the hi-hat with the foot. So every time before I hit my right, it's going to be the right, the left. So I have the one E and the left E and the right E, the left E and right E and the left E and. We got that. Two rights, two lefts would be the right E and the right E and the left E and the left, the right E and the right E and the left E and, I'm sorry, the left, oh yeah, boom, the left E and the left. Do that again. Now, I would really work with this because next week, what we're going to do is we're going to do some funk development. We're going to show the relationship of the linear concept in developing funk patterns. I'm going to start making up different patterns and explaining what you've learned so far, how to work it. Okay, George, well, welcome. You're welcome anytime. I'm usually on my site, but tonight I'm on YouTube. I might alternate. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. But come on back, George. Okay? So, Paul, do you understand? Mike, do you understand? Ross, do you understand? Everybody understands, I hope? What I like to do with this, at first, you know, if it's brand new, you want to take line by line by line. And each line has its own personality. All right, everybody understands. Okay, good. So we have, if you stay on line one, now play with dynamics, don't pound it, and do it at a tempo that you can handle. The one E, the left E, the right E, the left E, right E, and the left E. Let me go down to the paradiddle. And I'm starting this actually with a pickup note. This is not easy to write out with my programs because of the pickup note. But I'm demonstrating it with the pickup note. The pickup note is before the one. The one. Okay? So we're going to do line 5. That's the paradiddle. And remember we established that the right equals the floor tom-tom, the left equals the right hand on the hi-hat, the right floor tom-tom. You hear a paradiddle between the two voices. Hear that? So I'm playing line 5 as a linear line. And I'm just changing the voices. I'm distributing the voices. But now that was in quarter notes, and I'm going to extend it to the 16ths. So I have the right E and the left E. We all got that? Now, this is not going to happen in one day. It's just that what I like to do, when I first came across this, I had a little trouble with it. I still do sometimes, depending if I'm not focused or not. And I went through this approach, this approach, and I find this explanation a lot easier and more understandable. Now, we're not playing this to a pattern. But next week I'm going to write some things out. You're going to see this. And you're going to see the next linear concept line that I'm showing you as well. Is there any questions so far on this, gentlemen? Knock, knock. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any questions on it? No, no. You understand the Mike? Mike, not Michael, Mike. You understand that? Okay. Paul, you still here? Mr. Paul, put the bat and ball down. Okay, no questions. All right, good. And it's like, you know, there's so much to do, so much to practice, that you can't finish it all in 1 day, 2 days, a week. So what you do is take a few lines and enjoy it. If you can do 1 through 72, if you have that kind of time, do it. You'll be amazed at some of the things you're going to start to hear. Okay, so that takes care of the first linear line that I wanted to explain tonight. I hope you guys like that. I did say last time Mike was on and Paul was on. Michael, I believe you were on, but you couldn't get into the chat. I did ask for some requests. Is there anything in particular you gentlemen would like? What's that? Okay, Paul. For me to work on, something that you would like, other than the jazz, Paul. We're going to work on that in a couple lessons from now. Anything that, what's this? Okay, that's right, okay. Anything in particular you guys want to start working on, as opposed to my agenda all the time? I want to make everyone happy and everyone go forward. Ross, Paul, Mike, I will do, I promise, Mike, 1 day next week, a drum pad. Nick Stefano, how are you, Nick? And Speed. Well, hey Nick, is this a partner of yours, Mark Drum New York? You want to hear Nick do singles? Guy's a maniac. Good. We were working on some linear things. Now, single strokes, what I have tonight is I wanted to do some linear stuff. Okay? What's that note mean, Nick? I'm not certain. What I like to do is I was working on the linear concept by request. Well, this is an ace in the hole channel for me. I have my website, and we're having some issues with the streaming company. They're under construction, so I will be back to my website Mondays and Wednesdays. Now, maybe I will do an afternoon lesson occasionally on this channel, the YouTube channel, on a drum pad, 1 surface. Okay? Now, single strokes. Hey Nick, you should send this guy Mark some of your videos with the single strokes. I've given, Nick and I hung out for a couple times, and Nick's a monster. He's got some great hands. Now, the single strokes I will do on a drum pad. We developed some endurance, the different heights, sticking heights, different tempos, half exercises to develop speed. What's this? That's ridiculous, Nick. You're scaring me. 1,100 strokes a minute. That's quick. Wow. Oh, mercy. I think I'm going to have Nick come one day to my studio. Him and I will do a drum pad lesson. Would that be okay with you, Nick? See, Nick's a big man, and he's in shape. Me, I'm an old dude, man. Yeah, well, okay, we'll do that, Nick. Maybe I can have Mike Clark, you and I hang out, and I don't know what Mike Clark's plans are. I'll check with him, and if not, just you and I. And Mike Mangini is fast. I mean, you gotta check out Nick. Unreal. Okay. Well, I'm 70. I've been there. I wish I was there again. 70 is pretty tough. So I take it kind of easy now. And I just try to help. All right, well, you gotta use the drum pit. You're not gonna use my drums. Okay, let's get to the second part of the linear concept tonight. And, you know, my primary source is teaching or teaching from the stick control book. And the Gary Shafee book, Time Functions, the Patterns, the Syncopation book, Joe Morello's Master Studies 1 and 2. And, you know, all these books are right on the money, and they work, okay? Now, what I always do, I totally admire and have the utmost respect for George Lawrence Stone, the brilliance of how he put together a book that's an icon in the drum book community. It's been #1 since inception, and that's saying a lot. And the way I feel about that is, I feel everything that's out there, everybody has a different approach, their books, their, you know, whatever. And it all boils down to page 5, 6, and 7. Everything you want to know, in my opinion, okay, using the formulas, the references, the eliminations, is on page 5, 6, and 7. But that's another world, all right? Right now, I'm going to still stay on page 5, and we're still going to use the sticking patterns. We're going to reference from it. Now, towards the end of the lesson, I will go over again the first part of the lesson. But let's take this lesson, the second part, and it comes in two parts. You see stick control book, okay, as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That was one measure of eighth notes. So we're going to bring it down a little bit. Instead of making it eighth notes, we're going to make it quarter notes. So that what I just played is going to become 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, what's going to change with this one, the R is going to equal the bass drum. The L is going to equal the right hand, again, on the hi-hat. So if I took the first sequence, right, left, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I go to line 3, 2 rights, 2 lefts. Again, we're taking it to quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now the paradiddle. 1, 2, right, left, left. Now I'm keeping it in quarter notes. And again, my left hand is going to remain the same throughout the exercise. I'm going to think eighth note triplets, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now I'm going to fill in the and of the triplet, which is going to be on the snare drum. So I do the first right would be 1 and I come to the left, 2 and Now that's linear when I do the whole measure. One voice at a time, one note at a time. And I forgot to explain what layering was, or harmonic, okay? I mean, all notes are in harmony with something, but what this is, it's one note at a time. It could be on the same voice, but no 2 notes are played at the same time. If you do, it's not linear. So we're going to do line 1, which is 1, 2, right, left, right, left, right, left. Line 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice and easy. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Paradiddle. I like to play it a little faster. Now I'm thinking that in quarter notes, as R is the quarter note, L is the quarter note. Okay? Just to get the feel of it, go through that a few times, and you'll be hanging out with that. It's really nice. Then we take it to the eighth note. And instead of using eighth note triplets, we're going to use 16th note triplets. Now you're going to have to feel this. So if I went like this, as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I want to fill it in with the triplet. 1 and line 3, 1 and line 5. So forth. Now, like I said, hang out with this concept, this exercise. It's not pertaining to any particular kind of music or any particular song, and it's a linear concept. It's not a fill. I don't believe in that word, or fill in. I mean, you know, the terminology of today's market has become crazy and confusing. And that's another lesson, but okay. Now, like I said, next week we're going to be working with some funk patterns, and we're going to use these things. Simple pattern. There are the triplets in there. I'm not prepared for anything else, but I'm going to be writing some of that stuff out. Okay? Now, for those who just got here and missed the first part of the lesson. Anyway, Mark, Ross, Michael, and Mike, and Paul. Any questions? What's this? No questions. Okay. Any questions? Everything okay? Good, Mike. You understand it so far? Did it kind of straighten you out? All right, Paul. Did it straighten you out, Mike, with the concept, the linear concept? Good, Michael. And we're looking for Russ. Okay. Nick and Mark Drum. Mark, you're from New York. Okay. Are we friends on Facebook, Mark? Is that your name, Mark Drum? What is? Well, would I ever accent double ghost notes? Why would you want to accent ghost notes? That's what they're ghost notes. Okay, Mark. Well, but we're not playing any ghost notes. Okay? It depends on what you're playing and what effect and what color and what texture you want and what feel you want. There's a lot in this phrase. Why would I want to play accents? I'm going. They're more or less not dominant. They're actually filling in the blank. Why would I want to accent? Is that what you mean? But if you consider a ghost note, I hate that term as well. Ghost note. I think it's scary. Come on. I use a lot of that stuff with, when I teach or give a lesson from Gary Shafee's books and the syncopation book, with the time functions, where he has the heavy fat backbeat. I use a lot of ghost notes with that. And there's so much to do. I don't know where to start. I know where to start, but I have, my audience is like, one guy's been playing 100 years, the other guy's been playing 2 years. And somebody was self-taught, they don't understand the language. So it's kind of difficult to make your point, get your point across. So, as an educator, what I need to do is not assume anything. If I'm talking about linear, I'm going to explain what linear is, no matter if you've been playing 30 years or 2 weeks. Just so we get it out of the way and everybody understands what page we're on. Now, ghost notes, you know, it's more for being full, okay? You're kind of like in the background, filling in the blanks lightly. And when somebody says ghost notes for me, I consider that pianissimo or piano. All right, the accent is forte. Now, if I'm playing, for example, I think we went over this the other day, Mike. Remember the paradiddle ostinato? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to make my right hand and my left hand sound be consistent and plow the 2 and 4. Now, why would I want to accent the ghost notes? Because if you accent a ghost note, it's no longer a ghost note. I can make it heavier just to balance out the sound or the feel or what I want. So on and so forth. Okay, for those who just got here, I'm going to explain the first one. We got Mark. Who else is? Nick? You still here, Nick? Nick's a good man. Is Nick still here? Nick! Okay. Anyway, it's like 9 o'clock. I'm going to be taking questions, if we have any. And you meant a note. See, all right, let me give you my take on that. Do you understand control strokes, Mark? I'm in New Jersey. Mark, do you understand control strokes, the level system? All right, well, maybe Monday. What I was trying to do with YouTube was do one surface in the afternoon and then take it to the drum set in the evening. So YouTube was for the drum pad and my site was for the drum set. Some and yes, okay. All right, I'm located in New Jersey. If you like, you could, I don't know if I have enough room on Facebook. I got 3 accounts and they're mostly all full. All right, let me give you my email, Mark. All right? Okay? Email me, I'll put you on my mailing list. Oh, okay. I'll put you on my mailing list and tell you where we're going to be. Whether it's going to be on YouTube or on my site. And if you like, I give you my number and we can talk some, okay? Or if you're on Skype. You have Skype, Mark? Next week, guys, we're going to do a little bit of funk patterns. Now, here's my Skype contact. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the one. What's going on? It's the num blocks is off. It's supposed to be Matt. There you go. My God. Fat finger. Let me do this again. Don't laugh. That's my Skype contact. You want to make contact, we'll hang out and talk. Anyway, Paul, we're going to get back to the jazz patterns. Your books are on the way. Ross, your books are on the way. Anybody else? Mike, your books are on the way. And Mark, you said you had all my books, correct? I mean, Michael, or Mike from Pensy, right? You have all my books? Okay. They're just basic reading books. It's not breaking any kind of ground. Okay, anyway. Well, I have, Mike, are you on Facebook, Mike? What's this? Let me see. You on, are we friends on Facebook, Mike? If not, send me a friend's request. I have 3 accounts. Send me a friend's friend. We're friend. Why don't you talk to me on Facebook? And we're going to do the Skype thing too. Okay, it's a little bit after 9 and I got to leave. I apologize. I will be back Monday, and they're working on the site, the construction, and it'll be up and running. This is my ace in the hole. But I'm telling you, this Nick Stefano, you got to check his hands out. Unbelievable. I think I have some. Okay. Anyway, I have a few videos of Nick doing his singles. Unbelievable. You're welcome. Well, Mark, I do have 3 accounts. One, I think one is totally full. If not, I'll hook up with you. Not a problem. Okay, gentlemen? So, and there's no questions. We'll see everybody Monday, whether it be on YouTube or on my site. You will get a notification in the mail. You're welcome, gentlemen. Russ, you're the man. You're welcome, everybody. Everybody have a good night.